Thanks very much. Now, we'll go to the news shortly, but the row over funding cuts to education is heating up. Secondary school teachers now throwing their support behind their intermediate colleagues. So is industrial action imminent? Well, for more, President of the Association of Intermediate and Middle Schooling, Gary Sweeney, joins us by phone. Morning, Gary. What does it mean to get this support from your secondary school colleagues?
I think it's fantastic that secondary, primary, intermediate, everyone's coming together. Everyone's recognised that this, on the surface, small staffing cut 2 per school for some schools, not less than 1 or around 1 for other schools. On the surface, it doesn't look like a bad thing, but the profession and more parents are saying it is a bad thing. It's taking away from children in our schools in New Zealand. There must be another way of saving money.
Yes, and the Minister, Haki Parata's backtracked this week. That's my term. It hasn't really quelled this overwhelming support from within schools and the wider community across New Zealand, has it?
You did right. No one enjoys the idea of larger classes. No one enjoys the idea of curriculum or learning areas that kids for a long time, and we're talking 20, 40, 50 years, the way schools have offered these subjects and offered this learning opportunity, when no one's enjoying the idea of these things disappearing.
Gary, let's talk about where you go from here then. There is continued and now more audible and vocal support for industrial action, or is it a case of non-cooperation?
Look, I think there's going to be a mixture of things put on the table. You've got an unprecedented situation happening early next week with all of the organisations that have been contacted saying, yes, we want to come to a meeting in Wellington Tuesday afternoon. It's covering all of the sectors, secondary, primary, in the middle where we sit, intermediate, and a group of people are going to sit around and say, right, what sorts of things can we realistically deal with and put this message, make this message harder and harder for the government.
What sort of things are you talking about here, Gary? Are you talking about strike action?
Well, I'm sure that one will be put on the table. That's not something that I can talk about or say because we're not a union, the NZ AIMS. We're a professional group of educators that are just talking about kids in the middle years of schooling. But other people around the table will be unions, and they may put that up as an option to be seriously talked about.
At what stage do you accept what government puts forward? I.e., what do they have to do at this stage to see everything return to normal, for the heat to come off effectively?
Oh, look, it's a simple thing. It's a moratorium. Put a hold on this. Just say, OK, we've heard the voices across New Zealand. Kids in Oamaru today are going to be, there's over 200 kids going to be meeting with the national MP in Oamaru, and whomever that MP is, and I should know, I'm sorry, but whomever that person is going to hear it from a kid's point of view. They're going to be saying, why are we facing losing X, Y, Z in our school? So I think a moratorium is a very sensible thing for the government to look at. Just say, stop. For 40 million saving, which we've said we want to save, there must be a number of conversations we can have with the sector to work out a better way of doing this. Bumping up class numbers, taking teachers out of classrooms, taking stuff away from kids. Sorry, the profession is saying we don't accept that.
As is wider New Zealand, it seems. Gary Sweeney, President of the Association of Intermediate and Middle Schooling, many thanks for joining us this morning.